Right, so plan of action update. Um, I've got up on the scaffolding and seen some excessive rot in the centre of the ridge beam, which we knew it might not be great. We could see the staining on it. We've been able to see it, ever since we started clearing that whole room out, really. But never been in a position to get on a something solid and secure to see it up close. So what we're going to have to do now is basically change the ridge beam, and while we're at it, I'm going to do the purlins and the other sort of A-frame beam that goes across the room. Yeah, it's kind of another job. Not totally unexpected, but we were kind of hoping that it wasn't as serious as what it is. But I think it's probably only got that another winter in it, really. So we're going to start by peeling back the tiles, taking the tiles off down to the purlins, from the ridge beam down to the purlins at each side. Take them off, a few at a time at each side. Keep the weight exact at each side as we're doing it, so there isn't too much extra force on one side or the other. Then we'll cut back the rafters at each side, take the lats out, and then we'll probably take the ridge beam down in sections, in 3 or 4 sections, and then we'll figure out how we're going to get a new one in place. It's going to be interesting, but we're going to do this section right, and what I mean by right, it's going to be how I want it to look, how I want it to finish forever. Whereas with the floor structure, we've always said it was more of a temporary setup to use up the old joists. We had the other joists, we had the twisted joists, gives us that extra room, so we're going to be more comfortable for the next few years until we get into the house, and then it's going to be a day's work to take it out if we want to, and then put in something that's more befitting of the building, sort of similar to what we're putting in the house. So that's the plan, but with the roof I want to do it right first time. So we need to source some wood and figure out how we're going to do it. Yeah, so that's a quick update. Oh yeah, and one final update. We've got a bit of bad news, bit of bad luck. On Sunday, while Becky was walking the dog, she came home quite early. Wondered what was up, and it turns out that she's managed to break one of her 4th metatarsal, I think, in the middle finger. She got the lead round the middle finger. Alfie lurched forward and popped. So we ended up in the hospital for a few hours getting her sorted. So she's now got a cast on, and obviously it's going to be on 5 or 6 weeks. So I'm feeling quite sorry for her, really. She's kind of walking around like this and holding it up, and one thing and another. We found it quite ironic, really, that I get quite a few comments from people saying that I should be more careful and should wear this and should wear that, and I'm doing all this kind of stuff, and Becky's the one that ends up in a pot. Go figure, eh? Right, so gonna have half an hour this morning, and just clean up these hinges that we bought from a local kind of garage sale really. We bought a pair. They're not quite matching, they're handmade, and they cost us €6, believe it or not, for the two, which is ridiculous. They're probably about 4mm thick. It's decent gauge steel, or raw tie, whatever it may be. Got some age to them clearly, so we're going to wire brush them up. I'm going to remove the bolts, the original coach bolts that's in there, probably by cutting off the nuts and retaining the original bolts. The original bolts are quite thin, some of them in the centre where they're corroded, so I think even if I heated up the nuts, heated the bolts up, they could potentially snap. So I want to keep them, even though they won't be used for any kind of structural fitting, if you know what I mean. They'll just be decorative, but I'd rather keep the bolts. I can get the square nuts easily. The bolts might be a bit more difficult to get, you know, particularly patinated ones. So we're going to do all of the above, and I need to straighten this one out. Hopefully you can see it's obviously been bent, so we'll warm this section up here and tap it straight, and then crack on with the cleaning.